So I did a video the other day, post-fight analysis video between Bowie Tupou, Joseph Parker. I discussed comments that Tupou had taken a dive. I discussed comments about where the punch had landed on him, etc. Now when I make comments like that, I always like to follow it up with an additional video when more information comes through. Essentially, if I report some elements of the story on my channel, I like to go back at a later date and make sure I've reported the full story. You know, I don't want to leave elements of it without being covered. So I wanted to talk about an article which emerged today on Boxing Scene. I don't have the article in front of me, I won't quote it, but let me paraphrase it. It was titled something to the effect of Bowie Tupou responds to dive allegations following on from Joseph Parker loss. And a few interesting points were raised. Firstly, they blame the knockout purely on the position of where the punch landed, which they say is like the top and back of the head. Essentially, they're claiming it was a back of the head punch. They're saying that because of that position, the punch was illegal, and because of that positioning, it rendered Bowie Tupou unconscious. In the strongest possible terms, they are insisting that it was not a dive. They're insisting that it was a punch that would effectively knock anyone out because of the placement. And they are demanding a rematch, effectively, saying that the reason for the loss was that punch, we deserve to have it out. You know, they're not saying Parker did anything intentionally wrong. What they are saying is it's an illegal punch. Had it knocked Bowie Tupou out, you know, the referee should have had a word with him and effectively should have you know, look to warn Joseph Parker for punching behind the back of the head. Now, let me give you my response to this. I do believe, having watched it back several times, having listened to what other people have said, having seen what other people have written, I don't genuinely believe that this was a dive. As I said in my initial video, I think when a punch lands in odd places in heavyweight boxing, when you've got men of that weight punching that hard and that fast, if a punch lands in a peculiar angle, it can be night-night. Yeah, punches to the behind the ear, to the back of the head, to the temple, etc. It's different to getting punched in the forehead. You know, these kind of punches can affect your equilibrium. These kind of punches can just knock you out. And my estimation is that's what happened there. I'm not thinking it's a dive. Let me briefly address the other 2 points and give you my thoughts on those. Firstly, was it an illegal punch? Difficult one. Now, I'm not going to go by the boxing rule books. I'm not going to go by what the referee should do. I'm going to go by my instincts as a boxing fan. Whilst I would acknowledge that clearly it is illegal to punch someone in the back of the head, I would say in this fight, that punch from Joseph Parker was not an illegal punch. Just my opinion. What I would say, in my post-fight video, I discussed it as Bowie Tupou trying to adopt a David Tua style. Funnily enough, I watched Dwyer's video on this fight and he said Joe Frazier. You know, his analysis is typically better than mine. But typically what I meant by David Tua is a fighter coming in low, bobbing and weaving, lots of head movement, trying to get inside, trying to come forward, trying to steamroll opponents. Now, my reading of it is that because of Tupou's style and because of the way he was attacking in that David Tua or Joe Frazier type assault, it was kind of his fault that that angle of it, you know, that element of his head was exposed. It's not like Parker ran around beside him and sucker punched him. It's not like Parker deliberately trying to curve a punch behind the back of the head. Parker's punch was relatively, you know, in front of him. But because Tua was leaning in and coming in at an odd angle and getting low, he opened up that part of the head. So all Parker needed to do effectively was stick a hand out to hit the back of it. Now, because of that, as I say, I don't know what's in the rule books, I don't know what the official refereeing handbook would say, but to my eyes, if you're going to put your head unexposed in front of a puncher like Joseph Parker, and if he throws a straight punch and you get knocked out, I'm afraid, first rule is to protect yourself at all times, and in my eyes, Bowie Tupou didn't do that. So, yeah, I don't see it as an illegal punch. It would be, you know, punching behind the head is clearly can be illegal, but in this instance, I think what Parker did was permissible. Let me talk briefly about the rematch. I know this fight has different importance in New Zealand to what it has in the States, to what it has in the UK. I don't want to see a rematch. You know, I get the impression a lot of the Kiwi fans, and thanks to all the Kiwi fans who commented in that video, it's great to have you all watching, and I really appreciate the interest from all you guys. It's really nice sitting here in the UK to have a bit of back and forth with all you guys from the other side of the planet. It's one of the reasons I do this channel. But I sense from the Kiwis a bit of disappointment. You know, people are really hyped about Joseph Parker. They want to see him in proper fights. They don't want to see him go and blow over some tomato can in 30 seconds. And I think they thought Bowie Tupou would provide a stern test, and disappointed how easily he fell. I don't want to see a rematch. My gut instinct, just based on the small percentage of Kiwis I have watching my channel, is that more Kiwis would rather see Joseph Parker step up and fight a different type of opponent than rematch Bowie Tupou. I think, leave this fight. Let's put it to side now. It's unfortunate how it ended. It's not going to go down as a dive. It's not going to go down as an illegal punch. It's not a fight that I'm clamouring to see a rematch. For me, it's not overly controversial. It wasn't overly close. There's no need to see the rematch at work. I think it's time for Joseph Parker to continue building his career and move on to the next test. Let me know your thoughts. As always, thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this, please give me the thumbs up, like this video. I've got some interesting videos, well, I think they're interesting, coming in the next week or two. Please press the subscribe button. I wouldn't want you to miss out some of the stuff I'm doing. Thanks for watching.